In 2014, an attempt to stop global warming through climate engineering backfires catastrophically, unintentionally causing an ice age, which extinguishes all life on Earth except that inhabitants of the Snowpiercer, a massive self-sustaining circumnavigational train, which is owned and run by its inventor Wilford. The train is divided into two groups. The people at the front of the train, who are the elites, they get the luxury experience. And the people at the tail of the train, who are the poor, or as the elite call them, the scums. We are now at 2031, and we meet our protagonist Curtis. And through his eyes we see how the last 17 years has been for the poor. They live in protein bar diet, and are treated horribly by the elite. We see the guards of Wilford beat up the poor, even if they look at them the wrong way, and life has become unbearable for the poor. This is why the poor led by Curtis are planning a revolution. Curtis have been getting information from an inside man in the elite circle, and he plans to use the information to take over the train. By his side, Curtis has his best friend Edgar, a hothead with a heart of gold, and his mentor Gilliam, who was a friend of Wilford in the past. In the next scene, we see the guards taking away two children, Andy and Timmy, forcibly from their parents. Andy's dad tries to fight them off, but he couldn't stop them. He then throws his shoes at a high-ranking elite. Minister Mason arrives at the scene, and she punishes the dad by putting one of his arm outside the train for 7 minutes, which freezes his arm fully. They then take his frozen arm and break it with a sledgehammer. The poor are all made to see the punishment, as Mason gives a speech telling the poor to know their place. The next day, Curtis gathers all poor passengers to start the revolution, but some of them are scared of the guards since they all carry rifle, and they could kill all of them easily. But Curtis has figured out that the rifles has no bullets, as he believes bullets have run out when they were used to stop the last revolution few years ago. To prove his theory, Curtis jumps at one of the guards and makes him shoot his rifle, which was, as he believed, empty. When they see this, all the poor attack the guards, overpowering them and pummeling them with iron bars. The group then make it to the prison cells. Curtis releases security expert Nam and his daughter Yona from their cells. Nam is one of the people who worked on the security of the train and knows how to unlock all the doors. He has been sent to prison with his daughter for some reason we don't know about. Curtis asks Nam to help them open the doors and lead them to the engine room, and in exchange he offers him 2 chronoles, a very addictive drug that only exists on this movie, for every door he opens. Nam agrees to help, and they travel to the next section, which is where the protein bars are made for the poor. Everyone fights over the bars as they all very hungry. Curtis goes to the machine that makes the bars, and when he sees inside, he finds out their food are grounded up insects. This disgusts Curtis, but he doesn't tell anyone, so that he wouldn't more chaos. He then meets up with Gilliam, who suggests that if they take the water supply car, they will control any negotiation with Wilford. Curtis agrees, but as they open the next door, they are ambushed by masked men with axes, knives, and hatchets. Fight breaks out, and Curtis men overwhelm the guards at the front. Then they all stop, as the train has made another circle, and it is a new year. Fighting stops as the guards count down to celebrate the new year and to thank Wilford. Mason then comes behind the guards and informs the poor that for their attempted revolution, they have been sentenced to lose 74% of their population. Suddenly, all the lights are shut down, and the guards all put on night vision goggles. They then attack Curtis's men, who are now fighting blind. The guards start winning, killing the people in the front. Nam then takes out a match he was hiding and gives it to Curtis, which he uses to light up torches that he gives to his people, which now can see in the dark and fight back. A bloody battle ensues, but by sheer number alone, the poor start killing all the guards. Curtis sees his opportunity to capture Mason, who is now alone. But as he goes to grab her, Edgar is killed by one of the leaders of the guard. Curtis does manage to capture Mason and puts an axe on her throat, which stops the fighting and makes the remaining guards surrender. Curtis threatens to kill Mason to draw out Wilford, but she tells them Wilford will never leave the engine. She also tells them that water comes from the front to the back, so even controlling the water won't make a difference. She then offers to take them to him in exchange for her life. Curtis takes few people with him, as the rest, including Gilliam, wait at the water supply. The group pass through multiple luxurious sections uninterrupted. They stop at an aquarium and eat sushi. Cooties also makes Mason eat the protein bar. Then they reach the classroom where children are taught about Wilford. They are told on how great he is, and they sing a song about how he is their savior. It's almost as he is their god. A cart filled with fresh eggs comes for the kids, and one is also given to Curtis. He opens the egg and finds a note that says blood. At that second, the teacher takes out an SMG and shoots at them. She kills one of his men before she is taken out. They then watch on the TV, the people in the water supply, including Gilliam, ambushed and killed. Curtis turns to Mason and without hesitation shoots her in the head and kills her. The group then move forward, chased by the guards. The guards, led by Wilford's right-hand man Franco, catches up to them as they both enter the sauna room. A close quarter fight breaks out, and the guards kill 2 more people from Curtis's side. Nam does manage to take down Franco, and Curtis finishes him off by stabbing him on the gut. Now only 3 are left: Curtis, Nam, and Yona. But they are getting close to the engine room. They pass through few sections where the elite party and do drugs, and Yona breaks off from the group and does drug with the elite. Curtis and Nam reach the gate to the engine room. Curtis waits for Nam to open the door, but Nam refuses. Curtis gets frustrated and they almost fight, but he calms down. Nam then reveals that he plans to use the chronol as an explosive to blow up the gate to the outside world. Nam explains that every year he watches a plane that has crashed, but years ago only its tail was visible. But for the last few years the snow have been fading away, and now the plane is fully visible. Nam believes that this is a proof of the ice age fading, and that he wants to leave the train and live on the outside. Curtis then tells the story of the first months. He reveals that once they got on the train, the poor weren't fed for a month, which led them to cannibalism for survival. The strong ate the weak, and Curtis was the leader. One day, he finds a mom with her baby son. He kills the mom and takes the baby to eat, but Gilliam cut off his hand and gave it up for him to eat, which leads to other people sacrificing their arms and legs for food. Curtis reveals the baby was Edgar, and what he did to his mother, and almost to him, haunts him every day. A teary-eyed Curtis explains that he needs to get face-to-face with Wilford so he can ask why he did that to them years ago. Nam listens to his story. He commends him on his strength, but he still wants to finish his plan. He takes out his chronol bomb and sticks it to the gate. He then asks Curtis to light up the bomb, but just as he asks, the engine door opens and Wilford's assistant emerges. She shoots Nam on the stomach. She tells Curtis Wilford is waiting for him, and she invites him to get inside. Curtis follows her, and he finally meets Wilford face to face. Wilford reveals to him that this revolution was actually planned by himself, meaning Wilford, and Gilliam, so that they can reduce the population and maintain the balance of the sealed ecosystem. He explains that Gilliam was in on it from the start, and they plan to stop the revolution at the water supply once they have lost 74% of the population. Wilford reveals even the previous failed revolts were orchestrated by Gilliam. Wilford then calls his guards and orders them to kill every tail passenger, leaving only 18 to celebrate the 18 years in the train. Wilford then takes him to the engine and offers him his job. A shocked and saddened Curtis falls to his knees, as he appears to be ready to accept Wilford's offer. Meanwhile, Nam has woken up, and Yona has also reached the gate. Yona rushes to Curtis and asks him to give her the matches. Curtis doesn't respond. She then pulls up a floorboard, revealing the young children taken from the poor are being used as a replacement for extinct machinery part for the engine. This also reveals that the poor only serves to provide slave labor and resource that is used to run the engine. Curtis knocks out Wilford and sticks him arm in the engine to save Timmy, losing his arm in the process. Yona then takes the match and gives it to Nam. He lights up the bomb, and the explosion sound triggers an avalanche that derails and destroys most of the train. After everything clears, Yona runs to her father, but he isn't responsive. Curtis is also badly hurt, and he lies on the floor. In the last scene, we see Yona and Timmy, presumably the only survivors, walking out of the train. They see a polar bear in the distance, proving that life exists outside the train. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.